Tragedy at sea. Our media is obsessed with the ill-advised and tragic OceanGate Titan submersible adventure. The world, especially the western white part, is fixed on this story.
The captain and 4 passengers aboard the OceanGate submersible, called the Titan, all died in a catastrophic implosion in the deep.
Search. 4 days of search. They're searching everywhere. They were running around with their hair on fire. The sub was right where it was. It was literally on the seafloor below its last known position. Look, Monday morning when I first found out about the incident, within an hour and a half, I had the following information. They were on descent. They were at 3,500 feet. They lost comms and tracking. We got confirmation within an hour that there had been a loud bang at the same time that that comms were lost. I knew what happened. Sub imploded. I sent emails to everybody I know. I said, we've lost some friends. The sub has imploded. I really hoped and prayed I was wrong, but I knew it wasn't.
God have mercy on the families of all people lost at sea. Which brings me, of course, to the many more migrants who have drowned at sea, with little to no coverage by the media. Where is the same news coverage being given? 2 separate incidents have happened at the same time, while we were obsessively and voyeuristically fixed to the Titan disaster.
Since an overloaded fishing trawler filled with hundreds of migrants sank off the southwest coast of Greece. The vessel left port in Libya and crossed the Mediterranean before becoming disabled. It drifted for hours before capsizing.
The Greek authorities say they'll continue a search for bodies as long as is necessary, but there's no hope of finding anyone alive.
Why weren't these stories being covered? Oh, because they are poor and migrants from the brown and black parts of the world. To us, in the West, we have been programmed to think of such people as subhuman. To us, it simply isn't newsworthy. Something congenial to us is missing.
I played a key role as chair of the African Union during the COVID period. We felt like we were beggars when it came to vaccine availability, when we felt we needed access to vaccines, and the Northern Hemisphere countries had bought all the vaccines in the world, and they were hogging them. And they didn't want to release them at the time when we needed them most. And we felt like we were begging. And at times it felt like they would just be droppings from the table, that yes, we will give you that and that. And let me tell you something that generated a lot of resentment. We resented that, and it got worse when we said we want to manufacture our own vaccines. And when we went to the WTO, there was a lot of resistance. Enormous resistance. And we kept saying, what is more important, life or profits by your big pharmaceutical companies? And that too, I must tell you now, generated and deepened that disappointment and resentment on our part, because we felt like life in the Northern Hemisphere is much more important than life in the global South.
Isn't it really this? According to our prejudiced, racist view, a paradigm that prospers and thrives in our well-fed, well-dressed Western parishes and church communities, these migrants really aren't seen as human beings. Despite all the reaction formation, verbal orthodoxy, pro-life rhetoric, and Jesus talk from our culture, we identify more with people who throw money into fancy vacations. When those people get into sticky situations on ski trips and exciting expeditions, well, we become terrified. I mean chilled to the bone, because that could happen to us. If only we had a little more money, right? Our ears perk up and our eyes widen once in a blue moon when somebody dies at Disney World, whether on a ride or by an alligator. Hey, that could be our kid. I vacation there. But a bunch of brown, poor people drowning in the Mediterranean? You know how we see those people.
I don't want that trash.
Oh well, who told them to get into boats like that? What the hell, man? Are they stupid? They should have stayed at home. And they're probably terrorists anyway. Never mind that Western powers have raped and abused and wiped out their countries in the past century, draining their resources, murdering their children, driving them to extreme measures.
The decision of one man to launch a wholly unjustified and brutal invasion of of Ukraine. Iraq, anyway.
With all that understood, it becomes clear why we don't care too much for the many more people drowning right now. You know, there's a parallel to this in what the West does, including the Christian West, to the Mena Jesus, Middle Eastern North African Jesus, who was a poor Galilean starving peasant. No, we don't want that Jesus. We crave a Jesus who is just like us culturally. Not only looks like us, mind you. You know, I have to bring this up because there's something far more important that gets neglected by both so-called traditionalists and their lily-white Jesus, and the so-called woke, where Jesus gets turned into a cipher for their values. How did the historical Jesus actually behave? And where did he actually rank on the social scale? The way his behavior and demeanor is depicted is comfortably congenial to our cultural values, and is completely alien to Middle Eastern North African modal personality and the Galilean peasant villages Jesus frequented in the late 20s Common Era. But listen to the American parishes and church communities. I love Jesus! Jesus, I trust in you! I believe in you, Jesus! Really? Who is this Jesus? Maybe if we learn that and actually put our money where our mouth is, we could have a little more empathy and justice towards poor brown and black children dying.